So we got engaged and married in less than 3 months.
And no, I'm not pregnant.
Nobody knew this. Nobody saw this. Smoothest exchange ever. I'm not even kidding. That's probably the most nervous I've actually ever been.
We were positive that God was telling us to get married. So
we thought everything was going fast and it just took off. It was probably the best day of our lives, I would say. Welcome back to Fishback Frontline. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Caroline.
And today we're walking through our engagement, our wedding, and how everything happened in a 3-month timeline. Whether you're married, engaged, dating, or just love real stories, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Let's explain why our timeline moves so fast.
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons that there's some practical reasons too, like logistically, like everyone was telling us, oh, like you're rushing it, like you're getting married so quick. And
yeah, why so soon?
Yeah, and to what we said, it's not rushed. And what we meant by it's not rushed is that spiritually and emotionally, we were already ready to get married. We had been praying about it. We had been talking to our friends about it, talking to mentors about it. But it was rushed logistically because 3 months is a short amount of time to plan a wedding.
It's actually kind of crazy.
We had also been talking about marriage for months. Even a couple months after we started dating, we had discussed it. And so logistically, we wanted to get married before wrestling season started. We didn't want to have to wait until next summer because if we didn't get married before wrestling season, before October, we would have had to get married either sometime in the spring or summer. And so we just didn't want to wait that long. And our other thing was, if we can plan a wedding in 3 months, why not do it? Like, if it's possible, and it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we did it.
We did it. So
a lot of people might say, like, oh, you're too young, or, like, aren't you kind of young? Like, why now? Like, you're in college still. Like, wrestling season is about to start, but, like, in ours, we were, like, exactly. Like,
yeah, why not now?
Like, yeah. And
There's
so
nothing stopping us. Like,
yeah. And I think that you did hit on it, that like we moved fast to everyone else, but it was like it didn't seem that fast for us. Obviously the process in that time was, everything did happen pretty quick, but like it wasn't that fast for us because like we kind of were ready.
We've been talking about it and we were ready is really it.
So we talked about logistically that yes, a lot of things happened really fast because like we got engaged and literally married in less than 3 months. It wasn't even 3 months from the time I got engaged to getting married. It was actually closer to 2.5 months.
Well, because you proposed in July.
Yeah. So let's go back to when I proposed. Let's go back to that first. Let's explain that story, because then maybe anyone listening will be able to understand why it did happen so quick or so fast. Let's flash back to the proposal.
So we moved to Ohio in May. This is a little before the proposal. We moved to Ohio in May. And shortly after that, a couple weeks after, we went on a ring shopping date. And we had been talking about
that was kind of crazy in itself, because it was like, whoa, this is huge.
And I like was sending like tons of videos, tons of photos of rings. I was like, I want a ring. It's time for a ring. Everything was a ring. And so we made an appointment to go ring shopping. We made a little date out of it. That was in May. So then over the next couple months, you were doing whatever you were doing, getting a ring. And so then in July, over the 4th of July, we went to the Outer Banks.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
We went to the Outer Banks because that's where, we went to the Outer Banks for a week. And in the Outer Banks, you asked my dad for his blessing to marry me.
Well, I also knew I had to, because that was literally that was the last chance I could talk to him before. Because, like, I mean, obviously, we were still going to get married eventually, but it was like, if your dad said no, I'm not going to, like, go against what he says.
Well, you just wanted to talk to him about it.
Yeah, but, like, there was a few times where I was like, maybe I could talk to him, like, a month earlier or whatever, and I was like, no, like, we really did start to grow and, like, closer to each other, and I think it made it easier to have those conversations, because like being able to have conversations with people over time.
Well, you didn't want to force the timing. There was never like a good time. We were like traveling around, and you didn't want to force it and be like weird about it.
I literally kept praying about it though, like for like literally like a month or two. I was like, God, like give me the opportunity to talk to him, to ask him, and like but anyway.
Yeah, so they were standing on the boat, and me and Dylan's sisters come back home from the store. And we walk outside, and my stepmom was like, they've been out there for a really long time. And in the back of my head, I think we all kind of were like, he's probably talking to him about it. And so he talked to him about it over the 4th of July. My dad was super excited. They were so excited, so happy. Then a couple weeks after that, we went to California.
For family vacation.
Well, so they were super excited. And then right from there, right after he asked, we started planning our wedding.
Pretty much, yeah.
Before we were even engaged, we had already started planning our wedding. We had looked for venues.
Yeah. But like we also kind of like we knew we had to, because it was like, well, we're getting engaged. But
then we decided we wanted to get married in October.
Yeah.
So then we were like, okay.
It wasn't really a surprise. I won't say it was a surprise proposal, because we had talked about getting literally we picked the date already.
Yeah, we had already had a wedding date, so I knew he was going to propose. So
you just didn't know when or how.
Yeah, I didn't know when or where or how. I thought it actually was going to be in Columbus on our back porch. I thought he was going to propose literally on our back porch. It's
actually so funny, because I almost did. I literally, I actually didn't have the ring with me, or I was going to, because you were were you in Spain?
I was somewhere, and I came back.
Gone.
And there was one day before we left for California, I was like, he's either going to do it on our patio, like out on the back deck,
because
or he's
the day you
California.
came back, we didn't see each other for it was like 2 weeks, a couple weeks or something went by.
Yeah.
So when you came home, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do it now. But I didn't even have the ring, and until the next day is when we had the ring.
Yeah. How long did it take the ring to get made?
It didn't take that long.
It was like a week or something.
To get made, I think it was. I mean, the process was only like a few weeks. By the time everything was designed, he could have had it in a week or two.
Like he was able to.
It was quick. Like if I wanted to propose early, quick, I could have done it. So I was trying to figure out. So basically, the proposal. Let's go through that process now. Now that you didn't know,
we knew we were getting married.
Yeah. You didn't know when I was going to propose or how, but you knew it had to happen before.
I knew it was coming.
It had to happen before the wedding.
Yeah.
So, and obviously it was still summer, so the next time was
family vacation.
Basically family vacation, because you came back for family vacation. You were here for a day, and then we all left together for California. And in my eyes, I knew what I was doing. I remember I think I was in the shower one day. I was literally thinking of how am I gonna do this, and I pray in the shower a lot too, so it's kind of listening to God in my thoughts, but I was like, you know what, I just found the perfect idea, and I could not share it with anybody yet, because the first person I would tell is you, oh my gosh, I just had an idea, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then so in California, I knew that's where I was gonna do it, and I think it was the second or third day.
It was probably the
I wanted to do it early in the trip.
It was probably the third or fourth day. I feel like maybe second.
It was it was the first couple days. It was the first couple days, because I was I can't just sit here with a ring for a week and then do it.
Oh my gosh! And then
it'd be too obvious.
We were in California, so we went on family vacation. It was the third day in, and I swear there was a box in your pocket, and it was just we were just chilling.
I think it was the day before.
It was the day before you proposed, but I thought, I was convinced, I thought there was a box in your pocket, and I thought you were trying to be slick about it. But we were just hanging out at home, on the couch.
I think you thought it was my wallet. I think it was my wallet.
Your wallet. I think it was your wallet and your AirPods.
Oh,
making it look like a
sense.
ring box. And I was he has a ring box in his pocket, and then he didn't propose, and I was really confused. And I was what?
Yeah. But anyway, then so the perfect place it is the most
the photos
beautiful.
On our Instagram.
Yeah. If you want to check it out, we have videos and photos everywhere, because it is the most beautiful spot. I think we actually probably were there in California. That's probably the best place we could have done it. One, because it's meaningful. There's a cross up on a hill, and that's one super meaningful for us. That's how our relationship is basically built. That's what our relationship's built on and founded on. And it was overlooking the ocean, like the hills, the city, everything. And so that's why I was like, this is the perfect place. And you'll never, like, she'd never expect it, because it was like, why would you expect to, like, you know, and obviously you knew it was coming, but like even then, so basically how we planned it though was kind of like,
I almost ruined the plan.
Yeah.
I almost ruined the surprise.
Well, so the whole day, actually, I kind of forgot some of the whole day we were like busy all day. We actually went to Santa Barbara.
We went on a bike ride.
Like we went on a bike ride. It was fun. We got to see a lot of cool, like, little,
we were just exploring and like having like a family exploration. It was
a cool
day,
town, like, adventure. And then we came back only for like an hour or two because we were there all day.
Well, but on the way home, here's how I almost ruined it. On the way home from where were we?
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, on our way home from Santa Barbara, we got stuck in traffic, and I rode with Dylan and his parents, and Dylan's two sisters rode home together, and they stopped on the way home, and I just had happened to check their location. I looked at their Life 360 because...
well, I told them, I asked them if they could stop to make sure it wasn't, like, booked up, or, like, someone wasn't using it or anything. Yeah,
so I looked at their location, just happened to look, and they were at this thing called the Sarah Cross, and I was like... Dylan, they're at the Sarah Cross. I was like, what is the Sarah Cross? In the car with everyone, his parents and him.
I looked back and I was like,
and I looked it up on Google, and I saw that it was like this cross overlooking the ocean. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go here. Like, it's so pretty. I want to go take a picture there.
That's
I was
funny.
like, low-key a little jealous that they were there without us. And then Dylan was like, oh yeah, I never heard of it. Like, that's interesting.
I said, oh, that's weird.
I said, oh, that's weird. And then, like,
I knew about that place though, because I wanted to see it the year before when I went and saw my family, and I didn't get to go. So I was like, I still want to go. I was like, oh, like we should go. Yeah. Like, obviously we drove by it, but like we should check it out. And little did she know, literally a couple hours later, we were up there. And so we played it off. Like, my family, obviously they were all in on it. They knew, but we played it off as we were going to take a family photo, because we had dinner reservations that night. So it was like we were all getting dressed up anyway, like something like we would normally do as a family. And like we wanted to take family photos, and it was like, well, what better vantage point than up at the Sarah Cross on the way to dinner? And then so we did it. And this part is kind of like I don't even know if you knew that this part as well. Like especially you didn't know at the time. I didn't even have the ring until I didn't have the ring actually at all the whole time we traveled to California. I gave it, I think, to my mom, and she like put it in her backpack when we traveled so that you couldn't find it or like digging through my stuff.
I would have found it because I like,
100%.
Like, I'm all up in your suitcase. I'm packing your suitcase.
And so
I would have found it.
My parents had it in store, and they had it at their hotel when we went to the cross, I think. And once we got to the cross, I actually don't know how nobody saw it. Nobody knew this. Nobody saw this. But my dad had the ring box the whole time. And like we literally had the smoothest exchange ever. I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't even know what I did.
You said you put your hand behind your back.
I put my hand literally behind my back, and my dad, like, obviously he knew he had to give it to me somehow. And like I put my hand behind my back, and he just put it in my hand.
And it was a big box.
I was walking behind you, and he put it in my hand, and then the box, like my pants.
I don't know how that box fit.
My pockets weren't that like big, really.
The box was like giant.
Yeah, I had to jam it in my pocket, and then obviously like we walked down the steps and whatever, and my family just acted like, oh, it's pretty over here, and then you and I
we started taking photos and
just normal. Cool photos.
Yeah, but then I knew Dylan was about to propose because he was shaking you were shaking so bad. You were literally like standing up there like shaking. I know.
That's probably the most nervous I've actually ever been in my life.
At first when we got there, I was just like, didn't think anything of it. I was just taking everything in, how like, because it was really beautiful. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, I know he's about to propose, because like we were up there taking photos. I still didn't know when we were taking photos. Yeah. Then I clicked, like I put it together,
my hand
and I realized,
was like literally shaking.
When we were taking photos, we switched sides, and then I realized you were gonna do it. And
that was smooth though too. That was smooth because like I knew which side I wanted to be on when I proposed, because like I had already discussed it with my sisters who were like taking photos and recording, and like I wanted to be on this side and you on this side, and so we were taking photos, and I was like switch sides, and then And then
they were smooth about
my
it.
hand though is literally so shaky. I don't think I know I've never been that nervous.
Your hand was on my back, like
yeah.
shaking.
Well, and then like obviously you knew too, so I wasn't gonna make like a big old like speech and everything. Like I still wanted it to be like heartfelt and talk, but I was so nervous. My words were like so shaky. But then after like it was like the most like
it was a big
amazing moment. Yeah.
It was cool.
Like
then we went out to dinner to celebrate
and that was so much fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. So that's how we got engaged. That was at the end of July.
That was like July 20 something.
I think it was July 25th.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about the wedding planning, because from there we thought everything was going fast and it just took off. And so we started planning a wedding for October 4th.
In the Outer Banks. Mind you, we moved to Ohio and we were planning a wedding from another state. And so, yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah. So let's explain, because a lot of people probably aren't familiar with, one, planning a wedding, but also planning a wedding in really, you could say 3 months from the time
it was like less than 3.
It was basically less than
engaged,
3.
But
yeah,
we had been planning it for a little bit before, not too long.
Yeah,
Like
but
weeks.
I also, me too, as planning, I didn't want to go all in on wedding planning at the time, and because I was like, we're not engaged yet. I still want it to be a surprise.
I know.
I think that made it kind of challenging because you were like, let's go, and I was like, well, I want to make it special to still propose.
Well, because the second I knew the wedding date, I was like, okay, I want to get everything started, everything going. On the plane ride to California, I was literally designing wedding invitations, and Dylan wanted no part of it. He was trying to be nice about it, but I was trying to be chill. He wasn't interested at all, and I was like, I just want to make these wedding invitations now, and he was like, can we just wait? And no.
I know. But now, so we planned, right? From California, we started immediately. But you left out after California, you went to Europe. So you were in Europe for another week.
I went to Spain for 10 days. And so we were apart for a week and a half, 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And so then I actually picked the wedding venue without you too. I went wedding venue shopping. You did a lot of shopping
without me because I was here
training.
Wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah, you were training here in Ohio, and I was in the Outer Banks.
Because preseason basically was about to start. School was about to start. Mm-hmm. Almost, right?
Yeah, and so I was trying to get everything done with my friends and with other people, and so we went wedding venue shopping, and we picked the venue. They had the date open, which was really shocking to me because wedding season in October in the Outer Banks is prime time. It's beautiful. Anytime September, October is gorgeous. So everyone wants to get married there during that time. So I'm like, okay, I really hope we can find a venue. And so much goes into wedding planning that I didn't even really know about. You have to find a venue, you have to find a dress, you have to find catering, DJ, everything you have to find. And we actually did this without a wedding coordinator.
Yeah.
No wedding planner.
When we say we, I've said this a lot, it's basically
it was me.
Caroline did 98% of, probably 100%.
All of the planning up to the day of, I did. Yeah. Pretty much all of it. My sister helped me with some stuff. My friends helped me with picking things. But as far as lining up the dates and planning and actually contacting all these vendors, I did all of that. Yeah. And then, so we ended up getting a great caterer. Yeah. Dylan was actually, you were able to. I was able to try the food with me.
That was good because that was fun. Well, we got to do that together.
We did try one caterer. We didn't end up going with them before. But yeah, when we did the catering tasting,
you were on top of everything, and obviously for anyone listening that might be considering getting married or wants to plan a wedding, from the guy perspective, there really isn't a whole lot you can do. There's something, I think the biggest thing is just to be supportive, because she has so many things that she obviously there's a lot of things that maybe the guy may not care about necessarily, or maybe more so the details of it, but obviously I just wanted her to be happy. But so being supportive I think is really important in the process.
If you do have, I will say,
yeah,
the guy, if you're a guy and you're helping your fiance plan a wedding and you have an idea of something you want, please just tell her. Make it easy on her and tell her that you would like this so that she can plan it in your wedding, because Dylan had some great ideas, but he didn't tell me right at the time, so it made it a little challenging to plan.
Yeah,
so
I think communication is huge.
That's like the most important thing, like when planning a wedding. Really, anytime, ever. But like just like communicating about how we wanted it to look, and like it was also really hard to plan because we weren't together in the same room.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to plan this on FaceTime, and that made it challenging because it's like, oh hey, I just sent you some photos. Can you look at the photos I'm sending? So it was a little that was definitely hard. I would say if you can be together while planning it, that would probably be a lot easier.
Yeah.
And looking back, I would say we always knew we wanted a short engagement. We wanted to be married as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And so I think 3 months is doable, but maybe like 3 to 5 months
like
is
4
okay.
would have been a little easier.
It just, as far as like stress from planning, it's possible to do it in 3, and I wouldn't have changed that.
Yeah.
But maybe like an extra 2 months could be helpful.
So what do you think the most stressful part of planning the wedding was?
The most stressful part of planning the wedding, I think the couple weeks, like as we got closer to the day, and as I started looking like more finely through all the details and like what supplies we had, what everything we had, I was realizing that like I didn't have as much as I thought. And so I'm like on Amazon ordering all these last minute things.
The list kept just growing.
And yeah, that's the other thing is like the list just kept growing. I like would check something off my task list that I thought was all good, all set.
I thought we were done. I thought we were set.
He thought
like
we were done in
5
like September.
times.
Like he thought we were done like after we had a venue, and so the couple weeks leading up to it, I was just ordering so much on Amazon, and because we didn't do any rentals, we did all like disposable tableware, and it made cleanup really easy. Like you could just throw it all away instead of having to like wash the plates and everything. So that was probably like the most stressful thing. Also, getting a wedding dress. I literally got home from Spain. I flew from Spain to DC to Ohio, and literally the next morning after I got back, I was wedding dress shopping.
That was pretty crazy.
And so I didn't have really any time because a dress is like the most important thing, one of the most important things. And it has to get altered. It has to be able to come in time. So that was one thing I knew I had to get on right when we got home. I went dress shopping the day after. I found my dress. It was able to get altered in time. And yeah. What do you think the most stressful thing of planning a wedding was?
Planning? There wasn't a whole lot, I feel like, for me, planning-wise, other than the fact that, like...
I probably bugged you a lot.
I felt bad not being able to help because, like, I feel like there's, like I said, there's certain things I really... Like, other than having an opinion, and if I didn't have an opinion, there wasn't that much I could really contribute. And, like... And that, I think, was kind of hard because it's, like... I don't want to say helpless, but it's, like... That's why I said just being supportive is probably the best thing. But, like, in terms of stress, it was, like... I didn't have that much stress. But, like, definitely leading up to it, it was, like, okay, like... We got to remember... Like, this is kind of, like... My next question was going to ask you, like, what do we prioritize? And, like, what didn't matter as much as we thought. And I think for the stress side of it is, like... Remember, it's supposed to be fun. Remember, it's supposed to be, like... you only get married once. Like, let's not stress about planning the wedding. Like, yeah, we have to get it done. But it was also, like, remember what we're about to celebrate and what we're about to do together. Let's not stress about the nitty-gritty details. Let's remember we're celebrating our marriage, not just a day.
Yeah, like, sometimes I will say that was hard to remember. It was really hard because it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of different people. And people were trying to include making a seating chart. And it was a destination wedding. So everything we're taking to the wedding has to already be down there. Like, anything I was doing DIY has to already be down there.
Yeah.
Anything, and that's why it was really helpful in the summertime to get the majority planned. But that means, like, we had to, like, remember really important things like our rings. And so like, you know, just trying to get everything there.
Okay, so during this time of planning a wedding, like, what would you say, like I said before, like, what did we prioritize? We kind of hit on, like, obviously in terms of planning, you have to get the big stuff figured out first, but like what, in terms of our approach, I guess, what did we prioritize, or what didn't matter as much as we thought it probably did?
I think something we prioritized was being on the same page
Yeah.
with how we felt about, one, our marriage, and two, our wedding. I think we were very aware of, like, I think we were on the same page about really everything to do with the wedding, everything to do with getting married at the time, in the time frame we did, because we knew how important that was to be, like, unified on that.
Yeah. I also think something that was, I guess, maybe people don't recognize or realize is that I was in preseason during this whole time too. And so like the training load was pretty high. And then our wedding was basically the last week of preseason, right before the season started. So like the timeline, everything was literally just coming to a point.
Yeah.
And so, why we said like we wanted to get married before the season. And it was literally like a week before the season started, which was like perfect, right? And
perfect.
But yeah, I think we prioritized our marriage over the wedding, and I think that is super important. But what you say didn't matter as much in terms of the wedding or planning, like, as we thought it did. I think something that maybe didn't matter as much in planning was probably, there's a lot, I feel like, is like I said, remembering why we're getting married, and not necessarily like, I mean, our wedding was beautiful. Like, hats off to Caroline for, like, well, we're about to explain the whole day because it was like out of a movie, but there's some things I think that maybe putting so much effort into like the little, like, minute details, that's where I think it would have been helpful to have somebody help with that. But I think it turned out great, and I think the little things do matter in a sense that people recognize them, because we got so many compliments from so many people, not just like, oh, that's cute, like, yeah, I'm sure there's some of that, but it's like, no, like, you did a really good job, like yeah, this is the best wedding like we've been to. Like, we heard that multiple times,
which is honestly so exciting for me to hear, because everything we wanted people to enjoy at the wedding are things that people complimented. We had kids there. We wanted kids to be involved and enjoy it. And, you know, we had all ages telling us that they were having fun. Everyone of all ages was on the dance floor. Yeah. I think our playlist turned... Oh my gosh. The one most stressful thing, actually, we forgot was our playlist.
Well, yeah. That was pretty...
That was so...
That actually was probably one of the most... I don't want to say stressful, but it was like...
One other thing we prioritized real quick. One thing we prioritized was marriage counseling.
Yes, that's a good point.
Like, we got engaged and wanted to get married very shortly after, and our pastors were great. They worked with us and fit us in, and we got all of our marriage counseling sessions done before we got married, which was really awesome.
Yeah.
That was something that
I definitely recommend that. Definitely recommend that.
Definitely recommend marriage counseling. The most stressful thing was we did not make our DJ playlist. And so
until it was like the week of.
Well, the playlist locks you out a week, like 10 days before. You get locked out of the account, so you can't add any more songs. We didn't do any of it because we forgot about it because we were busy doing other things. And so it locks you out of the portal, and I didn't fill out any of the forms, any of the timeline. We didn't have songs. And so I emailed, and our DJ was great to work with us, and he reopened the portal, and we were able to do it. But picking the playlist and agreeing on songs and what kind of playlist we wanted was tough. Yeah. That was hard because we had slightly different opinions, slightly different song tastes, and so. But we ended up having a great balance. I think it was a great playlist. I think
we had like a good variety, and I think at least for me, like we said, we have different like.
Slightly different
style.
I mean,
it's
we
pretty
like
similar.
the same music.
It's similar.
We just had slightly
like
different
you like
visions for the dance
You
floor.
like to dance more than I do.
I was on the dance floor all night. Yeah. All night.
But I think prioritizing, like, certain songs we're not going to play. Like, I think that really is important in terms of a wedding, because like you have a wide audience, but also the image as one for us. What was important is like the image as believers, like followers of Christ. Like, the music does matter to an extent. Like, everything in the day matters, but like, not that you're performing for others, but like the music we listen to is usually not, it's pretty clean anyway.
Well, there's certain songs that we just like, don't like and that we don't aren't gonna have.
But like the style of music, like I think that's impactful. And obviously there's also kids there too. Like, you're not gonna play like vulgar music. Like we played a variety of like old and new music, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Okay, one more thing about the wedding planning, and then we'll get into the actual big day, because we've been sprinkling in. But so one thing I did want to actually hit on though about the wedding planning process is not stressing about it getting done, I think. Because yes, we had to put in the work to do it and like actually get everything done, but like when you stress about it, I think it makes it more stressful. And I think we also I know we had been praying about it even before the wedding planning started, like getting engaged and married in 3 months. We prayed about like, God, if this is your will, like it will be done. Like, you will make it happen. Like, trusting that God will make it happen, I think was huge, because it's like, God, if it's not your will, then it's like it gives us like freedom to have peace of like, okay, if it's not his will, like we're going to get married eventually. Yeah. And it won't be in 3 months, but maybe it'll be next year, you know, or like it's God's already written our story. So we don't have to really stress about the outcome of like, okay, the next couple months might be hard, but it's like, if it's God's will, it's going to happen and it's going to be amazing. Yeah. And looking back on it is like, God, you know, I forget where in the Bible, but it says that like, when the time is right, I will make it happen. Like the Lord will make it happen. And I think that's what we experienced in the wedding planning is like, he made it happen. Literally.
He did. It was great.
Before we got engaged to married in less than 3 months is like insane.
Well, okay. That reminds me something else too about like some piece of advice I would give for wedding planning is being flexible and being adaptive, because I had my heart set on a sparkler exit. I was so excited. I got these customized sparkler tags that were for Caroline and Dylan Fishback wedding, the date, everything. I got all of it set.
Those were cute.
And the week of the wedding, I got an email saying no fire at the venue. And I was so sad. I was heartbroken. But like throughout the planning, there were certain things like we did that, you know, I had to make sacrifices on certain things because we were getting married in 3 months. We weren't able to get everything we wanted, and
it's also a wedding is really expensive.
Yeah, we wanted to stay.
So it all adds up.
It is very expensive, and so we also wanted to be like economical, and so like we made certain choices to cut the cost down a little as best as we could, and so just like being flexible about maybe like you're not going to get exactly what you want, but there's always something out there that is going to work for you guys, and like it might not be a sparkler exit like you wanted, but instead of a sparkler exit, we bought these little like plastic glow things, and they were great. They were great. Yeah, they were perfect. So, no fire, no problems with fire.
Okay, so I guess we kind of hit on it. If we could give one piece of advice to couples planning a wedding, what would it be? Communication, I think it's important.
Yeah, communication. And staying organized. Being organized is very important. Knowing dates things are due. Having a list of all your vendors and contacts. I actually think I did a pretty good job. I made PowerPoints for our wedding. And
that was
actually made everybody sit down at our rehearsal dinner. And I went over the PowerPoint, just detailing the day of where people are going to be. I literally time-stamped it all. Like,
well, also we didn't have a day of planner, so it was like this many.
I had to do it, or
the people close to us that like they needed to know, so
all
that
of our friends
everyone
and family
knew.
were willing to help, and so we knew that they were going to help us. They just needed to know where to be at what time. So I recommend detailing it out, making day of time schedules, and giving them to everyone. I sent them out to everybody's phone so that they could have it wherever. I thought about printing them out, but then I was like, everyone has a phone, and so they're gonna have the phone wherever they go. And so being organized is definitely another piece of advice I would say is super important.
Yeah, I think I would say. I think in terms of the wedding, I think it's your day. Like, it's our day. Make it how you want. And yes, like, prioritize what's important to you. You know, like,
don't
because everyone,
don't let other people tell you what to do for your wedding.
Yeah,
if
because
there's something
everyone has different
yeah
opinions. Every single person that was at our wedding, I'm sure there was things maybe they didn't like, or
they would have done differently.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, it's people are gonna come celebrate your marriage whether they like the way the wedding is gonna go or not, and it's really up to us to decide what we want, what we don't want. And this is like maybe a touchy subject in a lot of, you know, newlyweds, or I guess you could say people planning a wedding, is like even the guest list is like important, but also
make it how you want it.
Make it how you want. Yeah.
Make it how you want
it. Make every, I think planning, that's the biggest thing, is just make it the way you want it.
Because it really is your special day.
And prioritize what's important.
It is your day to celebrate your marriage, and it's now nobody else's marriage, it's nobody else's wedding. It should be all about you.
Yeah, and ideally,
your spouse.
You only get married once.
One wedding.
So make it the way you want it, and prioritize what's important. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, enough of the wedding planning. Let's get into the wedding day recap. This was probably the best day of our lives, I would say.
It was definitely the best day.
So let's walk through the day. Like, you know, the night before, the morning of, we've talked about a lot of it already, but like, this is the picture of our wedding. Like,
so like, I've heard wedding horror stories about so many things going wrong, and the day was a disaster, and you have to like pick it up piece by piece. Our wedding was seamless. It, I think, to everybody else appeared seamless.
Yeah, I was just saying,
everybody else,
to everyone else,
I think all of our guests
seamless.
thought it was seamless, and so for the majority it was. But going back to before the wedding, so we had a rehearsal dinner. Our wedding was on Saturday night, so our rehearsal dinner was on Friday night, and a lot of our guests came in Thursday trying to get settled because it was a destination wedding, so they had to travel. It's kind of tough to get to the Outer Banks. The closest airport is Norfolk, which is like 2 hours away. And so I was supposed to pick up Dylan, the groom.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I was supposed to pick up Dylan and all of our friends
supposed to be like
in the wedding.
We had like 4 or 5 people. Yeah.
Picking them up from the airport and bringing them back so that they can help me set up and get all the last minute details. They were staying with us at the house, and our truck broke down.
Yeah.
Our car broke down, and I couldn't go pick them up. And so we were like scrambling, like, what do we do? Like, we're going to have to get a rental car. So Dylan had to end up renting a car from the airport and driving all of my friends and his friends.
Okay, so more on that though. It wasn't like, oh, friends you've known for years.
My maid of honor, he had never met before. Not one time.
I've never spoken to her.
Never even said hi to her. They just hadn't met before because, they just hadn't met before.
And everyone. First of all, everyone in the wedding was basically from a different state. Like everyone the groomsmen and bridesmaids were all from a different place. And then, so when I picked them up, we had people from all different states that I had never met before. And also my best man, we had met, I won't say met, but we'd only been in person one time before.
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy. Like we had basically, I don't want to say I was in a car full of strangers, but it was all of our friends. It's just, we hadn't really been together in person. So it was like, it was kind of funny.
And it was great. I mean,
it was awesome.
Everyone got along so well. We all became really great friends, and our maid of honors, best men, our groomsmen, everyone just got along so well and came together for the wedding. And I think that was a blessing that all of our friends and family did really come together to support us and help us.
Well, so that night, the night we got in, basically we had to help set up all the flowers and all that stuff.
Yeah. So this is where we weren't done. 2 days before the wedding, Dylan was like, I want to just enjoy it. We're going to go jet skiing. We're going to go to the beach. I thought we were going to have a lot of more fun time. We weren't going to do that. There's no way. I knew there was going to be like last minute decorations we had to make. Mm-hmm. So we still didn't have a seating chart. It was all designed and laid out and planned. But we had to put together the seating chart the night before. And then it was me and my friends and my bridesmaids and Dylan and his best man were assembling fake flower bouquets for the table centerpieces the night before the wedding. We were up late. We
also got pizza that night.
We got pizza.
That was
we were
so
eating
good.
a midnight snack of pizza. And so we were like designing these, the boys were helping. They were designing these flower bouquet centerpieces. And so
I don't think anybody actually probably would have thought that like we did that for the wedding. Like, because they looked great, stuff. But it was literally the day before.
There were so many last minute
And then,
things.
so the next day we had the rehearsal dinner, which went pretty smooth, I would say.
Actually, so there was supposed to be a hurricane in the Outer Banks. Because it's hurricane season, there was a chance of a hurricane the week before the wedding. And my dad had called me and been like, Caroline, like, there might be a hurricane, like, or, you know, we're watching the weather. And the weather turned for our wedding. Like, it was like...
That was an answer prayer too.
50 degrees and rainy and cold in the summer. It was nasty weather. And the day of the rehearsal dinner was still windy, no rain. Mm-hmm. And the day of the wedding was gorgeous.
It was like the best day.
Like probably the nicest day of the entire year in the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
And so it was like God literally gave us the perfect weather for the wedding. Mm-hmm. We had been praying that it would just go off smoothly, that we could have, because there was a backup option to do it inside in case of weather, but we wanted to do it. It was at a marina. We really wanted it to be outside on the dock, and so we were blessed to have sun and warmth, and it was just awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then that whole day, like we said, I think it was the best day of our life, and
I agree.
The coolest thing for me, like, there were still a lot of things actually that were unexpected. Like, there were things I had to do the day of the wedding. I had no idea it was gonna take place, and it took a team of like a lot of people.
All the guys, but like, were helping, like, run errands and set up, and like all our family.
The most, I think the coolest thing was that you said you had no stress at all the day of, and I think that was like the best thing, because there was a lot of things we had to do that we were scrambling to do, like setting up, and like there was some things setting up. The thing is, I was the only one that really knew how you wanted everything. Mm-hmm. Like, we told a lot of people, but like I was with you throughout the planning, and like I knew where you wanted things and how you wanted it designed, and because there were still things we had to put on, like
setting up tables,
setting up like,
because actually, unfortunately for our venue, we weren't able to get in the night before because they had a different event. Yeah. And so a lot of the time you can get in the night before set up, so you don't have to do it all the day of. We had to do it all the day of. Yeah. And so there was a lot to set up.
Well, so the morning...
And our wedding was at 4 p.m. So it was not like a late wedding. So we really only had... And you guys still had to get ready and everything. So you had the morning.
The morning, I thought we were going to be able to relax a little bit more. Maybe hang out, go do something fun, chill. And we did get to do some of that. It was kind of fun. We went to a coffee shop. Like, the girls all had to get their hair done and makeup done throughout the day, but like the guys, we went to coffee shop, and then realized we had to come back real quick to get a lot of work done. But in doing that, on the way back, like so I wanted to surprise Caroline too.
I kind of forgot my birthday. It was my before 21st birthday.
Yeah, that's right. So
the day of our wedding was my birthday. So
I wanted to like surprise her at because we saw each other the morning of, like, we talked about, like, it's fine if we hang out, see each other on the day of our wedding until like we're ready, set up. And so I went and surprised her
at the hair salon.
And I got these flowers. Not even joking. She could say it. They were the prettiest flowers she said she'd ever gotten
in my whole life. They were actually like the best flowers. I thought they were like designed by a florist. And
no, what's funny is on the way back from the coffee place, I was like, I gotta get flowers. And I asked like the local coffee shop, like, where can I get flowers around here? Then it was like, I had to stay close. I couldn't drive 30 minutes away. There was like 2 stores, and I went with one option, Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly was the option basically we had, and you know, you take the cards you're dealt.
Pictures of flowers here.
Literally.
Like, the bouquet was
We'll show you the flower, but like the flower bouquet was, I basically got 3 different like tiny bouquets for like, I don't even know, like $5 maybe. Like, the flowers were like cheap, but they were pretty. And at first I was like, dude, I don't know. I got 4 different ones because I was like, guys, I need help. Like, I gotta put all these together somehow.
And shout out to your mom. Did she help you?
I brought them back and I was like, Mom, I need help. And I got 3 of the same bouquets, but we put them all in one. we actually put, I think, all 4 of them together, and it was like the most like perfect thing. And then we brought them to the hair salon, and so you were so shocked.
Well, my friends, we were like, you know, just chilling around, like hanging out, playing music, just like having a really peaceful, like fun morning, hanging out, getting to know each other better. And then they were like, let's take photos. And then we were taking photos. We had taken all the photos, and then they were like, okay, let's keep taking photos. And I was like, something's like weird, like, because we were taking photos. They wanted me to take photos for like 25 minutes.
You didn't know I was coming.
And they were like, and then after they were like, Dylan was taking forever. Where is he at? Because they were just trying to keep me busy to not notice. And so it was fun though. It was a great morning.
Yeah. But then after that, it was like I had to come back and help set up a lot. A lot of people had to run different errands. We had to set everything up. But like it was so beautiful. There was actually a couple last minute things. We messed up the table seating chart, and
they messed it up, not us.
No, like something got messed up where all the tables were in the wrong place from the picture we had originally, and I had to make a last minute executive like decision because I was the only one that knew like our guest list, and
we didn't want the kids.
We didn't want the kids next to the bar, and so I was like, we got to rearrange this real quick, and then I had to go get ready, but like it was perfect after that. So then the day like after setting up like that, there was so much to do, but after that, it was like so much fun. It was we didn't do a first look, but we did a first prayer, and I think
did a first look with my dad.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was great.
And I think though the first prayer was really cool, and I thought what was special is that a lot of people got to see it too. Like we had our own moment that it was like it felt like it was just us, but like even everyone was like all together, like being able to like witness kind of what we were about to do was cool.
Yeah, like it was. So we did it out on the dock. And we had rented a house for all of our wedding party to stay in and all of our friends. So we did it out on the dock, and we were back to back. But everyone was able, not everyone, but like our close friends and family were able to be there and watch it. And so it was really cool. Because a lot of people do it like on the corner of a house or like, you know, on the corner of something. But we did it like just back to back, and it was really special.
It was really cool.
Awesome.
That was actually one of the highlights for sure. But then like, I would say after that, were you nervous at all? Like a little bit, maybe? I think I was nervous before we did the first prayer. I was definitely a little nervous. Like I didn't know what to expect. But like after we did the first prayer, I'm telling you, it was like the most peaceful like time. Like we were so like present. That was the biggest thing actually that we had prayed for was peace and presence. Yeah. And it was so amazing.
I wasn't nervous at all, honestly. I was just so excited. And seeing everything come together, and we were like, we could see our venue from the house. So like seeing it was like everyone was like a little ant, like running in and out all day long. I could see it all coming together, and it was like honestly so cool. And the morning with all my friends was just great. Everyone was like, it was just so fun. Yeah. There was no room for it was so fun that there was no room for like stress and worry because. Yeah. It was so much fun that it brought peace. So you know what I mean? Like
I think so I mean obviously the reception was fun, the ceremony was pretty cool. Like we don't have to go through like every little detail, but like I think the ceremony
actually during the ceremony there was a problem.
There was actually one thing nobody maybe noticed. One thing we forgot was the runway for walking down the aisle. But you wouldn't even notice because it was on a dock, and the dock, like, you didn't even need it.
You didn't need it. But I was in the back room watching everyone come out and take their seats, about to walk down the aisle. I'm like sweating. I have a fan up to my armpits, like trying to cool off. And I look out the window. And there's no runway. And I'm like, where's the runway? And all my friends were like, it's fine. We don't need a runway. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. So I was like, I wasn't freaking out. I was just like, dang, I kind of wanted my runway. Yeah. So then it's time, and they come get me, and you know, my dad comes, and we're walking down the aisle, and I realize my sleeves are off. I have detachable sleeves. Part of my wedding dress, they're like off the shoulder. And I walked down the aisle with them off because I was fanning my armpits. And I was like, I got to the front of the aisle and I stopped and I realized, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't think a single person noticed.
And so I literally like slipped my arms into the sides of my sleeves and put them back on while I was standing up there. And my maid of honor was like fixing my dress. And so I don't think anybody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
Maybe a couple people noticed. Then my veil fell out of my hair and my stepmom put it back in my head. And so I was like, just like very, very minor things. Yeah. Nothing went terribly wrong. So it was, but it was funny because it's like looking back, I'm like, I can't believe I walked down the aisle without sleeves on.
The best part of the ceremony was definitely walking down the aisle for sure. Like,
what was your reaction? Like, what were you thinking?
That's why it was like, so I think that was going to be my question was what was your favorite moment of the wedding?
Well, I want to know what your reaction was to me walking down the aisle first.
It was like, well, so I didn't turn around until I wanted to wait a little bit.
Because you were turned around. You weren't just standing there.
I wasn't because like the doors you could see. So like my best man tapped my shoulder and there's a video of it and it's like, maybe we'll have to show everyone the reaction because it was pretty like, I was like in awe. Like I said, like peace and presence though. Like I wasn't really nervous. I was just like, I couldn't stop smiling. I was so like in awe and like so present, like, wow. Like so like in awe of what was happening and so like present that I was like, I couldn't stop smiling and like my eyes I didn't sit like cry, but my eyes definitely got teary. Yeah, if you see it though, like I was so like, you were tearing up. So happy, so filled with like joy and like just in awe of the moment. It was like, wow, this is surreal. And so I think that was honestly probably even like, that was probably my favorite. I would say probably my favorite moment of the wedding was our, I guess you could say, walking down the aisle when we finally got to look at each other. Our first look. We got to see each other down the aisle. I think that was probably the coolest moment because it was just like, wow, this is it. Like, this is so cool.
One of the coolest moments of the ceremony, we did communion at our ceremony.
That was cool too.
That was really cool. Our pastors had suggested that and we didn't know if we were going to do it at first. Then we decided to do it. That was great. And I think like being married, walking down the aisle at the end of the ceremony, everyone stands up and is clapping for you and cheering. And so that's fun because it's like, oh my gosh, we're married. Like it sets in. It still hasn't, it doesn't set in all the way, but it's like, we just got married.
I know,
like,
it's like, what?
You feel like it's like crazy to even like think about.
Yeah. I think the last thing about the, I guess, ceremony, like what we built our marriage on. Like that was our prayer and goal is that everyone could see like that Christ is the center of our marriage and that and everything we did communion like because that was our first act as a married couple. Like our first thing that we did is serving each other before God and like honoring God in our marriage is the first thing that we do as a couple. And I think that was like to center our hearts on, you know, what our marriage is about. And that's where our foundation has been built on. And now since we've been married, that's where it's continuing. So I think the ceremony, I mean, I hope and pray that everyone got to see a little bit of that light. But no, the ceremony the reception though was so much fun. I think so fun. So my favorite part was obviously the first look in the ceremony, but the reception, I think it was just cool to see like all the different people that whether knew each other or didn't, that we had all came together and just celebrated. I think that was probably the best.
Actually, my favorite part was the cake. Our wedding cake
it was so good.
Delicious. Like it was devoured. Everyone. And so I love to bake. I'm like very, very particular about baked goods. I like them to be very like have a specific taste and be like high quality. And so I knew the cake was good because we had done a cake tasting and I was so excited for the cake. And I don't know what I was doing, but I cut me and Dylan the tiniest slices of cake because I was like not even like thinking and like we didn't smash cake in each other's faces. We didn't want to do that, but we like fed it to each other with a fork. So it made for like a great picture and video. And I cut the tiniest pieces of cake. That's one thing I regret. If I could go back, I would cut us fat slices of cake. I would cut us the fattest slices of cake because it was so good and we only got to eat a little bit of it. But it was delicious. And dancing. I love to dance.
Yeah.
Before, Dylan was like, do we really need like all this? I'm like, you don't understand. I'm going to be on the dance floor all night. He was like, people aren't going to be dancing the whole time. No, I was on the dance floor the whole reception. After the dance floor opened, I was on it from open to close. And it was so fun.
I think the biggest moment of the reception, like, obviously, I think it was all fun. I think the coolest thing was actually our last song, probably.
That was really cool.
I think that was the coolest part, really.
Our last song was I Thank God
by Maverick City Music. And that was just so cool because, like, it basically put a bow on, like, our entire wedding. Like, it wrapped it up in a bow because it was, like... To
end off the night with that was so cool to see all of our friends.
Well, and then everyone came, like, whether they're believers, non-believers, like, everyone wanted to be there for the last song. And it was, like... And the people that did know it, like, that's a great... Like, that's a good song to dance to, but, like, the meaning behind it was, like... Literally so...
It was just so hype. Yeah. So exciting.
So much fun. And, like... Yeah, so that was probably my favorite moment of the reception, was getting to see everyone come together, like, worshiping God and, like, all being so grateful for, like, especially, like, us, like, that's why we got married. Like, we thank God for this marriage. And, like, I think it was just so cool, like, to finish out with that song.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But, yeah.
So I think one of the hardest things while being engaged was... just hearing everybody else's thoughts and opinions. And so one piece of advice I would have for couples going through like engagement and planning a wedding is I think it's really good to hear other people's opinions and definitely to have conversations with like whether it's like friends or family who either has like maybe concerns or questions. I think it's really great to have the conversations with them about and like hear them out and listen. But also at the end of the day, like for Dylan and I, our family was kind of like split on how they felt about us getting married. Some were super excited. Some were excited but had concerns. Some didn't agree. You know, we had a broad spectrum of people who had different opinions just because of their like background and their life experiences. And so one thing is I would say stick to your beliefs. Don't let other people change your beliefs and what God... You know in your heart, God has been telling you. Like, we knew that God was telling us to get married. Yeah. We were positive that God was telling us to get married. So that honestly made it easier in a way for us to be so united.
There was no second guessing. No. It was like,
but it was still really challenging to have conversations with people who didn't see it the same way. And you could probably, like, agree with that. But
I think that's really good is... One, your faith in God, like for us, is the most important thing. Our faith, our belief, and that's what we build our life on, right? But so your beliefs, I think, have unwavering belief in that we believe God was speaking to us to get married. And it's because we had been asking him for a while. We were asking him for a while, and he eventually answered us loud and clear. It was like, okay, like now it was basically like us getting married was like an act of obedience to God, right? I would even say like, if we didn't get married when we did, it would be disobeying God's will for what he wanted for us, which is crazy to say because it's like, what do you mean getting married is like obeying God? But like at the time it was like, every single thing lined up. God was like, here's this, here's this, here's this. He was almost like proving like, all right, now you're set. Now what are you waiting for? And at that time, like, yeah, I get a lot of people may not understand that. But when you keep your belief, like your belief system, like strong, like we're not changing for what other people say or what other people think, because God is the most powerful creator that we are following, and it's like we trust him over any other human, over ourselves. And it's like, because our heart is deceitful, but like God also called us to be married, and we knew that. So I think that's what we kept so strong, is our faith.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
I know I'm starting to like preach a little bit, but no, it's true.
It's really true.
Yeah, I think stick to your beliefs, especially when
Don't let anyone bully you out of it.
Yeah, especially when planning a wedding and getting married. Like,
especially because we are young. Like, there's no doubt about it. We are very young.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And I mean, every relationship's different too. I think that's important to note is
no relationship is
what
the same.
works for us may not work for you or somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, every relationship, every marriage is different.
Yeah.
And I think just keeping your beliefs strong, I think, is so important. But
and prayer.
Yes, prayer I think is actually
and
huge.
Sticking true to what you believe and communication.
That's a good point. One thing that we focused on in that in the timeline of getting married, before getting married, is prayer. Knowing that we're not just preparing for a day, we're not just preparing for a wedding, we're preparing for a lifetime of marriage.
Yeah.
Right? And that's super important. But do you have anything else to add about, the wedding planning process, the day of our wedding, how much fun it was?
Yeah. Enjoy it because it goes fast.
It really does.
It goes so fast. We talked about it for like 3 weeks after. We wish we could relive the day over and over because it was so much fun and the day was so perfect that we just wish it could be longer. But okay, another thing real quick I'll say is our wedding was from 4 to 10. And I think that was a perfect amount of time.
It was perfect.
Because people were still on the dance floor at 10 p.m. Yep. We probably could have gone to 11, but 10 was perfect to cut it off. It was early enough. People can always leave before. Yeah. But our ceremony was like 4 or 5.
And we got to hang out with friends after.
Yeah, we were up all night hanging out with our friends. That was another thing. We had different opinions on whether or not to stay like either in a hotel after our wedding or to stay in a house with our friends. And we were like set on staying in a house with our friends because a lot of our friends came from out of town and we don't get to see them that much. Nobody lives in Ohio. And so I'm so glad we got a house because it was so much fun. We went home and we were just talking with everyone all night. And then we woke up the next morning and all of our friends came out to breakfast with us. That was so cool. And if we didn't stay at the house with them, like that probably wouldn't have been able to happen because it wouldn't have been as easy. And so it was really fun. I'm really glad we stayed with everyone and we just got to have like great time, like building friendships. Just
great quality time. Yeah, that was so much fun. Great conversation.
It was fun.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it on our second episode because that was a lot to unpack.
Well, a lot goes into a wedding.
We could probably keep talking about it. Like we could make a whole nother video on all the details of our wedding, like the planning, everything. But
yeah,
that's pretty much it so far. I think it was a great time. Planning the wedding was stressful, but once we got there, I
wouldn't have done it any differently.
It was so worth it. Yeah, it was so much fun. I would say the best day of our life.
It was the best day.
And God was there through all of it. It was so great. But anyway, in the next episodes, we're gonna probably dive even deeper. Right? What are we going to talk about?
The next episode is going to be about how we broke up.
Sometimes I forgot we broke up.
Yeah. If you want to come back for story time.
Yeah. So in the next episodes, we're going to go deeper and we're going to talk more about marriage and college, faith and hard seasons, and our breakup story.
Yeah, if you guys like this episode, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. There'll be plenty more videos coming out, more podcast episodes. And our podcast is now live on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. So you can also go check it out on both of those platforms.
And YouTube if you are tuning in and listening. But also, if you do want to see a recap of our wedding day, check it out on our socials and at our photographer, videographer, Triple Threat Media. They did a great job. They did an amazing video, so go check it out of our wedding day. It was so awesome.
We're going to link it in the description.
Yeah, we'll check. You guys check it in the chat. So thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being part of something bigger than ourselves. And we hope you enjoy this. We hope this blessed you guys. So welcome to the front line. Tune back in for the next episode.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace out.